In a quiet residential colony on Narsinghpur Road, people are vanishing in the night. No signs of forced entry, no signs of a struggle, and zero physical evidence behind. Police digging through neighborhood data found exactly one chilling link. Moments before each disappearance, CCTV footage shows the victim walking alone until they suddenly stop dead in their tracks. They look over their shoulder in sheer terror, violently thrash against an invisible force, and then the camera feed abruptly shorts out. Enter Raghav. He is a hardened, deeply skeptical crime journalist who arrives in town to track down a flesh-and-blood serial killer. He dismisses the local ghost stories as mass hysteria masking human violence. Raghav treats the impossible as a puzzle with a human solution, looking for suspects where there are only anomalies. He walks into the colony convinced that his logic is a shield, unaware that it actually functions as a blindfold. To prove his theory, Raghav baits the trap himself. He stakes out the empty colony streets at 2 a.m., waiting for a human culprit to make a move. The ambient noise of the town drops to absolute silence. Then a voice calls out from the darkness directly behind him. It sounds like a lost, frightened little boy asking for help to go home. Raghav breaks the one unspoken rule of the colony and turns around. Standing under a flickering street lamp is the Dedfutiya. It is 1.5 feet tall, its feet twisted entirely backward, its face half burned, and its eyes are solid, void-like black without a trace of a pupil. The creature leaps entirely off the ground, crashing directly into Raghav's chest. Pinning him down, it reaches out. Panicking, Raghav pulls a heavy iron car key from his pocket and slashes wildly. The metal makes contact, the creature shrieks, and it instantly vanishes into the dark. The physical struggle in the street was just the introduction. By surviving the encounter, Raghav has unknowingly carried the creature's true infection past his own front door. Raghav checks his body for wounds and finds none. But as he stands up under the bright streetlights, he realizes he casts absolutely no shadow on the pavement beneath him. Desperate for answers, he seeks out Shakila Appa, the widow of the very first victim on Narsinghpur Road. She is the only person in town who understands the strict rules governing this entity. She reveals that the Dedfutiya is not the ghost of a human child. It's a jinn, a primordial entity constructed entirely of invisible fire and smoke. This animated diagram illustrates the jinn's parasitic life cycle. It begins by detaching and consuming the victim's shadow. Without a shadow tethering them to reality, the human soul slowly hollows out. The jinn then fills the empty space inside the body with a swirling core of black smoke and embers, preparing the physical form to serve as its permanent new vessel. The jinn's process results in a complete erasure of the original person. It is a slow, conscious hollowing out that leaves the victim a silent witness to their own replacement. But supernatural terrors rarely operate without human permission. A corrupt real estate developer wanted the colony's land for pennies on the dollar. He hired an underground tantric to actively summon the Dedfutiya, terrorizing the residents into abandoning their homes to clear space for a luxury commercial complex. The conspirators specifically targeted Raghav. They needed a prominent, credible journalist to experience the horror firsthand, legitimize the panic, and broadcast it to the public to accelerate the exodus. The plan is working, and the possession is accelerating rapidly. Raghav's voice drops to a heavy, tearing rasp. His fingers involuntarily cramp and contort. When he looks in the bathroom mirror, the reflection staring back is not his own. It's the half-burned, black-eyed face of the Dedfutiya. The builder looked at an ancient, consuming evil and saw a cost-effective way to bypass local regulations. He assumed he could manage a demonic entity with the same clinical detachment he used to manage his construction crews. Raghav tracks the tantric and the builder to an abandoned leather factory on the outskirts of the city. With the possession nearly complete, Raghav now possesses the terrifying, unnatural physical strength and speed of the jinn inside him, effortlessly overpowering the men. He pieces together Shakila Appa's lore. Since jinns are born of fire and smoke, you cannot shoot or stab them.
To destroy the parasite, you must completely incinerate the vessel it currently occupies. In a final act of absolute defiance, Raghav wraps his own body in heavy iron chains, the one earthly metal the creature fears, physically locking the smoke entity inside his flesh.
With the creature trapped, Raghav throws himself directly into the factory's roaring chemical fire. Extreme human willpower turns a victim into a prison. By choosing total self-destruction, Raghav incinerates the human corruption driving the scam and burns the demonic parasite right along with it. Months pass. The police write off the factory explosion as a tragic gas leak. With the builder dead, the land grab fails, and the Narsinghpur road colony finally returns to peace. Then, a new security guard is working the night shift. He hears a tiny, familiar voice calling out from the darkness behind him. He wisely refuses to turn around. But back in the guardhouse, the CCTV monitor catches it. A 1.5-foot tall shadow, standing alone on the pavement, waving cheerfully at the camera. Raghav's fiery sacrifice killed the entity's masters, but the jinn survived. The Dedfutiya is no longer a summoned tool for a real estate scam. It is an untethered apex predator roaming the dark. So if you ever hear a child ask for help from behind you in the dead of night, do not look back.